Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. So, you guys, this is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. This is a review for the Oval, the Hornets Nest, Season 3, Episode 16. And we started out the episode basically how we left off last week with Hunter's questioning Kareem. He's asking him if he thinks he's a punk. I'm like, yes, Hunter, we all think and we all know that you are a punk. Yes, you are a punk, okay? But anyway, he's saying that it takes a lot of balls to go to the police. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid, but it's a lot of balls. And he's like, we're going to have to finish you off. We're going to have to make an example out of you. Of course, Kareem is saying no, and he's saying that, he has a daughter, don't do this, and he don't have to do this. And Hunter's like, yeah, you telling me you have a daughter, that makes absolutely no difference to me. Like I said, we're going to have to go ahead and do what we got to do. And that's that on that. And he's basically like, see you later. Well, before that, he was actually asking if Sharon is at the apartment. He was telling him no. He's like, you sure about that? He was like, yeah. He was telling him he's lying to him. He's like, no, she left about an hour ago. She was there this morning, but I haven't seen her since then. She don't have nothing to do with this. She didn't tell me anything and all of that good stuff. She's like, nothing at all. And so, of course, Hunter doesn't believe him. He's like, what did she tell you about our conversation? And Kareem is just saying nothing. He's saying that he made it up and he made a mistake. And, when Hunter's like, did you want to speak to me? He's like, nope, I didn't want to speak to you at all. And so, unfortunately, Kareem has finally caught on into what mess he got himself into and that this could probably be costing him his life. He's saying that this is a misunderstanding. No, Kareem, sorry, boo. The only misunderstanding is you being stupid and still going to the damn police station when you really should not have, boo. That's it. So, nonetheless, Hunter's basically like, okay, then when he gets out the van, he's saying to the Secret Service guy that brought him down, like, wow, you made this happen. You made sure that nobody seen me. Is this something that you could do all the time where you can move me around by yourself and get me in and out of places without everybody having to know that I've been there? And the guy's telling him, yeah. So we already know where that's going. Then Sam comes down. Of course, he's looking around like, because Nancy be in that kitchen throwing down, okay? And he's smelling the food. She's saying she got some biscuits. Give her about 2 seconds. Barry and, her husband be loving her biscuits. And he's like, okay, cool. And then she's talking to him. Of course, telling him not to give up on Priscilla, that she could possibly, change her mind. She might be seeming hard now and seeming like her mind is made up, but if she, she has a good heart and, you can't hold on to anger but so long, and she got through to Richard. She made a mistake years ago and she's like, I know you heard about my mistake, okay? And if Richard could forgive me, then Priscilla could forgive you. And I'm like, girl, Nancy, I don't think so, boo, but go ahead and keep telling him that if you want to. So he's telling her thank you or whatever. And at this point, we got Priscilla coming over and knocking at the door. And, Nancy like, who's this? I ain't expecting nobody, and tell her to come in. And Priscilla, of course, when she sees Sam there, she's like, oh, I didn't know he was going to be here. And she's like, yeah, he's here. And she's like, never mind, I was coming to talk to you or whatever. And then, of course, Sam tries to call her name. And she's like, listen, I don't want to talk to you. Like I said, never mind. So at first, Nancy's trying to get her to talk to him and all of that. And then Nancy gives up and she was like, look, he was just about to leave, so you come on and stay. And he was like, yeah, I was going to leave. He was like, thank you for the biscuit, but I'm going to get out of here. I need to go take care of, my business at work. And Priscilla basically saying she don't want to talk to him. And then he leaves and she tells her, come on, let's have, a cup of coffee. And then Priscilla's like, okay. And they go head to the back to sit down and have some damn coffee, y'all, okay? Then we have Hunter going back in the room. Donald basically was still in there with Jason all that time. And he telling Hunter that he needs to get to the White House so that him and Victoria can make a statement together. He was like, oh, why? Because you don't want me messing with, the nurses. And Donald was like, what are you talking about? He was like, oh, you think I mess with women too much, don't you? Or whatever. And he was like, no, sir, like, that's your business. He was like, yeah, I like a lot of women. What's the problem with that? And he was like, oh, it's no problem, do you? And so, Donald tells him that he's going to go change his clothes or whatever. And then he will um be back and meet him at the White House. And he tells him no problem. That sounds like a plan. Donald was asking him, well, don't you want to talk to your son before you leave? And he was like, is he gonna hear me? And Donald tells him no. And he was like, okay, then there's not no reason for me to talk to him, is there? So I was like, these people crazy as hell. Then you have Bobby trying to get Lily to eat, and she's saying, listen, I ain't got no appetite. I ain't think about no food. I don't want to eat no food. She basically saying she want to be able to get herself out of this situation. She wants to have her life back, okay, which is understandable. Bobby is saying he gets it. He's saying he want to help her get to that place. She telling him he can't help her. She was like, this is not your fault. You didn't do it. And you can't be the one to help me get out of it. I appreciate everything that you've done for me so far, but I need to do this for myself. And then she basically tells him that she wants to make a call to a lawyer because she wants to start working on a divorce. And she wants to do it like right this minute, because he was saying he had a secure line that she could use to call the lawyer. So she's basically like, okay, where's the phone? And he's like, well, damn, right this minute. So she was like, okay, well, all you got to do is press this, because she was like, they won't be able to trace it or see the number. And he says no. So she's like, okay, you said all I had to do was press this, and this, right? And he's like, yeah. So she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and go do that now. And I want to step in the next room so I can have some privacy. And I was thinking in my head, like, Bobby, are you really that stupid? Because we all knew that freaking Lily was not worried about going to call no damn lawyer right this minute for no divorce. I don't know why you would trust her with that. But okay. So, basically she goes to so-called get her privacy to make the call. And then, Max comes over and is talking to Bobby or whatever at the table. And, of course, lo and behold, just like I figured, she's, I'm sorry, y'all, 1 minute. Excuse me. So lo and behold, just like I figured, Lily behind goes in the room and calls up freaking Donald, okay, on his phone. Max was telling him that they sound like a damn, married couple, and he's telling him to shut up. And he was like, you don't gotta say nothing. And he was like, I know. He was like, but I'm just, hope you know that she's not calling the number. And then Bobby does say he knows that. And he was like, she's calling him, right? And he was like, yeah, pretty much. And so, obviously, they in on it too, okay? They not stupid. But he says that he's not going to be able to trace her. And he was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. So, they was like, okay, as long as we on the same page and you know that. And she was like, well, if you knew that, then, like, and he was like, look, this affects me too, so I'm just trying to make sure, that's when Max is saying to Bobby. And he was like, please, just go over there. You ain't got to worry about it. I got it under control. And he was like, all right, well, carry on, with your delicious your delicious breakfast. So I was laughing at that because I think we all knew that damn, Lily was full of crap and wasn't calling no lawyer. So basically, she calls like I said, Donald to threaten him. He's saying Cal, and she's like, no, this is your other lover. And he like, oh, hey, lover, and she like, hi. And he like, where are you? I want to come and hug you. Like, they so funny. And she was like, yeah, I bet you do. And he was like, hey, you thirsty or whatever, and laughing or whatever the case may be. And so she was like, yeah, but not the kind of thirsty you thinking about, all right? And she was like, Mr. Big Trojan Man. And she was like, yes, I have him, and I'm enjoying myself with him and all this other stuff. And so he was like, that's good. And she was like, yeah. And she was like, if you was into you probably would enjoy it. So he was like, well, baby, I hate to tell you, but that's not my type. And she's like, whatever. He was like, what, you don't believe me? And she was like, I don't care what you say at this point, So he was like, you don't believe the photos, you don't believe your own eyes. And she was like, look, I'm calling you to tell you that you will be served. And he was like, okay, thanks for telling me. And she was like, yeah, this is over. And he was like, yeah, I kind of figured that when I had you tortured and all. So it's like, yeah, there's no coming back from that, right? That's a done deal. And so basically, I'm like, Lily, I don't even know why you wasting your time even telling him this. You don't tell people what you're going to do. You just do it. But nonetheless, she's telling him that she's going to kill him. It's going to be her. She's going to be doing all of it. He's telling her, you know, I look forward to it. Come on with it, baby. And she was like, yeah, this is fair play. And he was like, yes, it is. You know, even he knows that it's fair play and that he would do the same thing if it was the other way around. And she telling him he better up his security, and he's telling her that he already did. And she's like, well, they bust through your whole whack ass detail the last time around, so you might want to triple it, boo. But anyway, she's still telling him, you know, yes, she with him, and he's doing her better than she's ever been done, and all this other stuff. And she's the best man she ever had in her life. And, you know, that looked like that was bothering Donald a little bit to hear that. But nonetheless, he just was like, I see. And then basically was like, okay, so we know that you are planning on coming for him. And he tells her that he is looking forward to this showdown. And she says, as am I. Okay. And so they go ahead and hang up. Hunter makes his way home, and Victoria's like, what the hell are you doing here? I didn't expect you home no time soon. He's like, you know, you really must be jealous. You had these nurses removed, didn't you? And she's basically like, what are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, all of a sudden there's nothing but old nurses working there. And, you know, of course he's saying that she also got rid of, what was the chick name that worked at the White House? Oh, gosh. Can't think of it right now to come back to me. But she's like, no, I had nothing to do with that. That had to do, you know, with gun violence. And he was like, why don't you just admit it? Like, if you was bold enough to go out here and get rid of her and all of that, you might as well just, you know, stand by what you did and be proud of it, or whatever the case may be. And so that pretty much was that with that. You then had, you know, her basically calling up the vice president's wife and saying that some stuff could still end up coming out about them. They was like, did you really think we didn't find, she said, did you really think we didn't find nothing when we vetted you guys? Or do you think that we just kind of, you know, brushed it under the rug to be able to let y'all still come in? And if you want to know what's going on, I suggest you get your behind over here. So at first, you know, he's like, don't, you know, the vice president's telling her, don't take your behind over there. Don't fall about that. What is there to talk about? There was nothing for them to find. And she was like, well, don't you think they capable of making something up even though it was nothing to find? And he was like, yeah, knowing them, I'm pretty sure that is possible. I wouldn't put it past, but I still don't think it's a good idea for you to go over there. And of course she says, with these two, you never know, and I'm not taking no chances. I'm going ahead and go over there. Because you know she thinks she just as bad as Victoria, and she ain't going to listen to her husband. So she says she's going to go ahead and go. Then you have Sharon and Dale sitting down having this conversation. And, you know, of course they still saying they worried about Kareem. They still haven't heard from them. He's saying, you know, he didn't wake her up because he was trying to give time for him to hopefully be there before she would have woke up. That he's tried calling him a couple of times. She's calling him, and out of nowhere, Sharon gonna talk about something. Ever since I met Barry, all these things have been happening to me. And I'm like, huh? Like, I've never understood Sharon and Barry's relationship. I never understood, you know, Barry ain't the best, okay? He could act damn crazy, but at the same time, he have been dealing with the fact that his daughter was damn kidnapped, okay? And was with these damn people that do sex trafficking and all different kind of craziness. So some of his crazy is understandable. And I'm just like, Sharon and her relationship with Kareem was always weird to me, and the way that she would act towards Barry was weird to me. And I'm trying to find the correlation between it being a crazy damn president that he has no type of control over, that came and took you or whatever, and from him to Kareem deciding to go to the police and his ass being snatched up. How the hell is that Barry's fault, Sharon? How? Sway? I was like, girl, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere. So then anyway, you know, at this point, Richard comes down. He sees that Priscilla's there in the house. He's saying hi to her, whatever. She's like, I gotta go ahead and go to work. You know, Richard is trying to sit there and talk with Nancy for a minute and find out what, if anything, she said while she was there, and whether her and Sam saw each other. He basically was surprised, like, you going to work? And she was like, yes, I am. I'll see you there. And then he basically tells Nancy that he don't got long, you know, that he could stay there, that he don't want to be too far behind Priscilla. If she's going to work, then he got to hurry up and get his behind there too, okay? So then we had Sam go see the VP. Of course, the VP is nervous of the fact that, you know, his wife decided to go there, so he's telling him to look out for that. We also had Donald going to, what's his name? The Allen, I think that's his name. We had him going to the house saying, you know, you got to get to work. Was you planning on going to work? Which I was confused because the last we saw him, I could have sworn he was at work and he had put that damn box in there and he had went in Donald's damn desk. But nonetheless, he's telling him, yeah, he was planning on going to work. He's sorry. He was like, thank you for checking on me. Then he starts to go through this whole thing of how he looks at him as more than a co-worker. He looks at him like a father figure. You know, he's always had a lot of respect for him. He wants to get closer to him. He's thinking about maybe running for the White House one day. So Donald's like, oh, well, this is a big turnaround. Like, the girlfriend is not even buried yet. And all of a sudden, here you are thinking about your future. You was just all out of it. So he was like, well, what's bringing on all of this besides all the liquor that I'm smelling on you? And I'm like, yeah, Alan, you being real freaking obvious, okay? All of a sudden now you want to be damn best friends with him and talking about he want to be close to Hunter, and if you put him on that detail for him to work for him, he would do a great job and the best job and be the best man that he could be, and it just ain't sounding right. And so anyway, Don was like, yeah, okay, well, Alan, I need you to come on and get your behind dressed pronto, and Alan tells him that he is on it, okay? And I'm just like, okay, Alan. So then we had, like I said, Sam talking to the VP. Sam is asking, you know, how long can I hold Cal? He's like, I'm not sure, but I'll update you as soon as possible. And don't worry about it. Any blowback, you know, I'll take care of it. And my signature is on it. So they have to go by, you know, whatever I say. And I stand by that or whatever the case may be. And, you know, he's telling him that the detail is still there. And the vice president was like, well, maybe it shouldn't be. And Sam is saying, no, that's fine. And he was like asking him, did the chief come and ask him anything? And he said, yes, he did. He asked about you and he asked about your kids or whatever. And so he's just kind of shaking his head about that. They already knew that that was something that they was going to have to deal with as well. And he asked, is Cal talking yet? Of course, he told him no. Cal ain't saying nothing. You know, and as far as him, like I said, asking how long as he should keep him, he was like, that really depends. He's not sure yet. But with him having his signature, it should be okay. I'm like, are you sure, sir? Are you sure? Because at this point, y'all literally are playing it by ear. I don't think any of y'all know what's going on. And so, you know, Sam says to him, with all due respect, sir, do you really think this is going to work? And he's actually being honest with him and is like, I'm not sure, Sam, okay? Like I said, they are playing it by ear. And he was like, well, you created. And then he didn't even have to finish the sentence. The vice president was like, I know, it's a mess. And he was like, you know, listen, part of the reason why I asked you to stop by here is to let you know, I couldn't say this over the phone, but my wife is going to be there with the first lady. And he was like, well, why is she doing that? Okay. Well, we all been saying, right? But he was like, she's insisting she wanted to be there. So could you please monitor her while she's there? And Sam tells him that he could do that. He tells him, thank you. And he also tells him they're going to get him. And, you know, they shake hands. And I'm like, okay. You know, y'all really trying it. I will give y'all credit for that. And so, of course, we then have Alan, you know, come in and he's talking for a minute and he's saying everything turned out fine. And they like, okay, good. And, you know, he's like, I'll see you later. And then the guy tells him, not so fast, come here. And he's like, am I missing something? And he was like, you know, do you want to tell me why you was here late last night? So I'm not bugging, okay? That was last night that he was there. And he was like, yeah, the chief of staff called. And he was like, for what? And he was like, you can't ask me that. And he was like, did, you come in with anything? And so he's basically like, Alonzo, you know, you can't get anything in here. And then he's like, Alan, he's basically smiling at him like, boy, don't play with me, okay? And he was like, look on your little cameras. And so he's telling him, I did. He was like, and she was like, I'm watching you, you know. And he says, hey, look at me, just stop. And then, you know, he's letting him know, like, we on to you, buddy. Ain't nobody that stupid. We know you mad. We know you been accusing the president and his wife of all different kinds of stuff. And now all of a sudden you coming up here calm like you want to work with them. Ain't nobody stupid. Alright, so that was that with that. And then we went to Sam going down to see Cal. And pretty much, you know how it goes. Cal is saying things is going to happen to you. You don't know, what you in for. You don't know who you messing with. Donald's going to miss me. Donald's going to be looking for me. Donald's not going to play with this. You out of your league. And Sam is like, I need to talk to you. I need you to tell me what the hell is going on. I need you to give me information. That's the only way that you could get out of here. If you don't give me no information, you ain't going nowhere. And then Kyle is telling him, no, that's not going to work. And he was like, look, you can't get any communications in here, in or out. Everything is in place. If you don't help me, I can't help you. I can't help you until you talk to me. You know what I'm saying? You know how this works. And so Cal is sitting here kissing at him, and he talking about, I did talk to you. And he was like, look, I need you to tell me what happened. And then Cal is like, what happened? Well, what? And he's basically saying to him, did you shoot Agent Human? Did you shoot Max? And he was like, oh, the Tooth Fairy dude. No, that's the Bunny Rabbit. Cal is still trying to play games. And he was like, God, things have been really violent lately for some reason. And, and so Sam is like, oh, the Tooth Fairy and Bunny Rabbit personalities are yours. And he was like, oh, no. I try not to use my teeth or whatever the case may be. And Sam is like, this is all a joke to you, isn't it? And he talking about something, no, it's not a joke. The joke's on you when I get out of here, Sam. And he's like, all the more reason for me to keep you in here. And so, Cal is telling him, you can't keep me here. He was like, look, it's been fine so far. I've been doing it so far. So Cal tells him, Sam, this is getting real cute or whatever, but you about to piss me off. And he's like, oh, wow, I'm going to piss you off. I don't care. Like, let me see what it look like when you get pissed off, because you ain't scaring me, okay? And so he starts telling Sam how he's going to tear his life apart. And then Sam said, I would love to see it. I said, I know that's right, Sam. He was like, I'm going to start with your wife. And Sam told him, be careful, boy. And he was like, oh, I hit a nerve with that one. You know how Cal always think he cute. And then Sam was like, I swear, you will find out what nerves get hit and what won't. Don't. Keep it up, okay? And so he is basically still like, yeah, okay. And he was like, see, Sam, Donald's going to go crazy. And, he's back to the whole Donald thing. Like somebody supposed to be shaking in their boots over damn Donald. And he was like, I'm just letting you know. And then Sam basically, he tells Sam it's his own grave. And Sam was like, yeah, okay, have a good night. And, basically, mwah, 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 to you, boo. And walks off. And then Cal is groaning. And so then we have Sharon and Dale coming looking for Kareem in the pharmacy. Because Kareem is just going to be in the pharmacy for whatever reason, hanging out and not answering their calls. And then they like, oh, God, he's not here. And then Sharon is like, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to the police. I don't care what you say. I'm going to the police. Dell is telling her, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you want to do that. I think maybe we should wait like another hour. No, I'm not waiting. I'm going to the police. And either you go with me or you don't. You don't have to go with me. I could go on my own. And so then he says, well, all right, I'm going to go ahead and come with you or whatever the case may be, because he had tried him again and he still wasn't answering. So then you hear a noise. The noise is loud as I don't know what. Dale is like, oh, shoot, what's that? And she talking about some, what do you hear? And then I guess she finally hears the noise and she's like, Kareem. But no, boo, it ain't Kareem, okay? It's Hunter Raggedy Ass and the same Secret Service guy coming around the corner, and they looking at them, and Sharon is like, and I'm just like, yeah. Because you told Kareem, and you knew that he always got a big bad macho man that know it all. You knew he didn't believe you, but yet you let him walk out the damn house by himself to go to the damn police, and this is what y'all get. So that was the end of the episode. Yeah, we gonna see where this is gonna go and what is gonna happen next week. Okay, freaking Dell and damn Sharon about to end up in some body bags next to Kareem. Okay, we all want to know. Anyway, tell me your comments. Tell me what you thought about the episode, what you liked about the episode. If I left anything out, put it in the comments. I'm sorry I haven't been feeling, the best of the best, but I still was trying to get this out to y'all guys. And like, share, subscribe. Till next time. Toodaloo.